Live, uncut, unedited. All right, all right, all right. We here. We here. We here. We here. Once again, we're here. Appreciate y'all for tuning on in. We're definitely here. This is where we live, uncut, unedited. Live, uncut, unedited. All right, we here, people. We are definitely here. We are here. Tell the truth and what? And shame the devil. That's what we do on here. We tell the truth. Tell the truth and shame the devil. They tell me that a butt naked truth. They tell me a butt naked truth will undress a dressed up lie. That's what they tell me. Appreciate y'all coming in. Appreciate my YouTube family. Appreciate my Facebook family. Again, those of you that's listening to us live, we're live right now as we speak. Make sure you share this video, this broadcast, no matter if you're on YouTube or Facebook. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. This is definitely live, uncut, unedited. We want to have, I believe it's going to be a controversy subject today. We're talking about politics and crime. So as you guys know, here in the city of Chicago, we have 8 black mayoral candidates, 10 total. I believe one is white and one is Latino. So we want to talk about that. And feel free to call in 872-299-0808. Again, 872-299-0808. Also, I have another number, which is the one you see above my head, 872-297-6389. Again, 872-297-6389. I want to call out some names. If you're from out of the state, check in with me. I'd like to see who's going up. All right, I see Key. How you doing? Roslyn, what's going on? Nathan, I see you. Sharice Bridge, I see you. Hey, Peggy. Chad, I see you, my brother. I see you. I need y'all to check in what state you're from. Check in from what state you're from, and that'd be beautiful. I like to see that this is live, uncut. And people, we're going to operate a little different. Now, since we're talking about politics, now, you know, when you get to talking about politics and religion, oh my God, it's those two subjects are some of the most controversial, conflicting subjects at all. So we want you to speak your mind. We want you to speak it within a minute, maybe a minute and a half. We don't need no long, drawn out, keep repeating yourself. Just tell us what you want. Tell us what you know, what it should be, and we're on to the next one because I want to give a lot of people a chance to call in. You know, I have my regulars that call in. I appreciate my regulars, but I want some new people to call in today. New people to call in today. This is definitely live, uncut, unedited. All right, we got Illinois in the house, Vegas in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I see. Good evening, Martin. That's Leslie Brown. I see you. Peggy, I need y'all to check on in. What state you calling from? All right. So somebody said Chicago, but born Florida living. Okay, that's cool. All right. Yeah, we got 2 subjects tonight. What's up, Corey? Make sure you call in, man. What's going on? And we listen, people. We're going to talk about politics. We're going to talk about Chicago politics. So it's okay if you call out names. If you don't like a certain candidate, that's okay with me. So regardless if they're Republican or Green Party, whatever party they are, Democrat, don't make a difference. Milwaukee's in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Dr. Sanders, I see you. I see you. So we're going to talk about politics. Remember now, we have 8 black mayoral candidates. We have 1 white and we have 1 Latino. So we want to talk about this mayoral race. And this is what I hear a lot of people. A lot of people say, well, won't we all just get together and get behind 1 black candidate? And that sounds wonderful. That sounds so beautiful. But sometimes it's just not the way it's going to be. So, hey, it is what it is. It definitely is what it is. And we're going to get into the subject, and we're not going to wait on a lot of people. They just have to come in on the tail end. We got today is the last day in order to challenge someone's petition, their signatures. So what we do know, we know that Sawyer is being challenged, Jamal Green is being challenged, and Willie Wilson is being challenged. So it's going to be a fight, people. It's going to be a fight. You know, each candidate in this race have their own strength, have their own followers. So it's going to be a race, people. It's going to be a race, and we have to get out and vote. All right, and I think I got me a caller, and I'm gonna let this call. I think that's Dr. Sanders. She's gonna come on in. Dr. Sanders, when you get done, just come on in. We're gonna talk. And
I'm here.
okay, come on, Dr. Sanderson. We have this is what we're gonna talk about first, and we have 8 black mayoral candidates. I believe 2 is female and the rest are male. We have 1 white candidate and we have 1 Latino candidate for running for the mayor of the city of Chicago. Your thoughts? Your thoughts?
My thoughts is I just got out of a meeting with my union tonight. And one of the questions that was posed was that it is said that the current administration is trying to privatize CPS. And I have a concern for all these candidates, Willie Wilson, Jamal, all the rest of them. Let me help you out. Come and apply for a position in my school. And I want you to do what we do. Underpaid, overworked. You want to be mayor for this city. What is your real deal? Is it for fame? Is it for glory? Do you really know what you're doing when you talk about Chicago politics? Martin, you and I come from that old school where nothing but the mafia ran this city, and you know it.
Guess what? Guess what, Dr. Sanders? The mafia still is running this city. You know, ain't nobody looking like me
They
and
still,
looking like
but
me.
they
They still,
using other people.
of course, of course. Hey, Dr. Sanders, now, hold on for a second. Not changing the conversation, but this is what I want to do. I want to, I want us to, if those of you that's able or capable of doing it, name some things that you would like to see the mayor do, the new mayor or the mayor now, just in this race. What do you want them to do? You could type it in thing. You know, you could just say whatever you want to say. If you want to see a new superintendent, if you want to see get rid of the boot. I mean, name me some things in the messenger in the chat, the things that you want to see the mayor do. Period. Whether it's male or black or white, whatever.
I want the mayor. I want the mayor, whoever he or she may be. First of all, get rid of the boot game.
Okay.
Why I say that? Because reason I say this is because when you do not pay those tickets and they boot you, what is it, on a third ticket or something like that, and they end up towing your car to Doty Road or Iron Street or wherever, look how much money that you are accumulating just for parking in the wrong area or your sticker plates license are expired. They're doing all this talk. Was it $60 a boot, and then turn around, they $80 a tow, and then they take it. Look at all that. By the time you get to all them places, it's almost $400. Then they're charging you per day to do that. Plus, the people are still paying notes on the cars. Now, I found this out the other day when I was riding with a friend of mine. They got the camera lights, which is small and white, in certain areas now. Right there at 70 on Vincennes. All of these camera lights, it's a mortgage almost to pay. Get rid of that. If you're going to do a fine, do a reasonable fine that does not accumulate interest. Because a lot of the people cannot afford to get them boots out. Then they end up your car get crushed or sold, and now you stuck and then you're trying to get your car out of, you finance the car and you trying to do all that. That's too much. That's too much. In Michigan, I remember years ago, a ticket was only $1.
That's not gonna happen.
So the thing of it is that they got to get rid of it, because a lot of good working people that may forget at times, whether they're young or old or whatever, that boot stuff is ridiculous.
Well, let me say something. Dr. Sanders, hold on there.
It's killing.
Hold on now. You know that they have to budget they have to balance the budget. So they have to find some way to make money, bring money to the city. So if you want the mayor, any mayor now, get rid of the boot, how are they going to replace that revenue that was coming to the city? So we want them to snatch it away, but we need something to replace. How are we going to get more revenue? Because, we definitely need revenue for the city of Chicago, definitely. So listen.
We do need the money,
right.
But when you talk, I mean, you do need to look at the entire fiscal budget for all areas, and they're able to calculate that by looking at how much this will cost. Now, you already paying for parking, right? With the parking box, and you can only pay they only give you is it an hour and a half or 2 hours for how many dollars? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now the parking, because of course, let's go back, because most of these young folk that's running, they weren't even born when 9/11 was here. 9/11, before 9/11, you used to park downtown on State Street and put your blinkers on and run in and run out. No, when Osama bin Laden was talking about coming to Chicago, going to the government buildings and the Sears Tower and all that crap back then, we were there, Martin. Remember, a lot of these folks wasn't born. They were little kids. They went on and they started booting people's cars, and you could not park downtown. The parking garages are already a monstrous price anyway, because if you go down there and you park, going to anything, the Cadillac Theater or going out there to court or whatever you're doing, you're going to pay a lot of money already for parking. So they got to look at everything that is on the fiscal budget for the city.
Right.
That's what's going to take someone with financial literacy to understand money, not just sitting in the mayor's office.
Let me just say this, Dr. Sanders. Now, what I don't like about the parking tickets, if you don't pay them in a certain amount of time, they double. I mean, even a credit card, they charge you 23% interest. I mean, come on, that double, that's long shot right there. So double, I said no.
There is long shot. Yes, it is.
I said double, no,
yes, it is.
no. Let me say this. 872-299-0808. People call in. 872-299-0808. 872-297-6389. Call in, people. 89. That's right, 89. People call in so we can talk politics. 89. Now, we ain't going to cuss each other out now. We might be having differences of opinions and stuff like that.
No.
I need you guys in my messenger. I need you to name me some things that you would like to see change. Don't tell me, just tell me. Be specific. Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Sanders.
Another thing is housing. All of these emptied up, boarded up houses need to be rehabbed and opened again. Do something with it. Put it on a program for affordable housing, which of course, POA is here, and Woodlawn Preservation. They're a part of POA. Also, you got Chicago Housing Authority. Remodel these homes that are vacant and put people in them that are homeless. We need to literally start doing something different with the housing, because there are a lot of shelters that are not running again like they used to. Some of them ended up closing out during COVID because they was privately funded and they lost funding. You only have maybe a couple that's still going on. Add some more shelter, but get some real places. Clara's house, the one that's over there in Inglewood, it's empty. Ain't nobody doing nothing with it. Go back and remodel that and rename it something else and put it in the memory of Clara's house. So bring some houses available, make it affordable. And they need to look at the areas where the crime is And they need to put people as captains in those areas to be able to be points, Martin, like, when you hear a lot of things that's going on, make it a private point, a pivotal point, to be able to let the police know. We need the police to walk the streets, hire more cops to walk the streets 24 hours a day. Because, as you said, to stop the crime and to chase it, we need to have policemen out here. We need them to be walking the streets during the school hours. We need them to be walking the streets when the senior citizens are going in and out their building. We need to walk on the main street. We need that.
So
that's what you do.
Hold it right there.
You put your heart.
Doc Sanders, hold it.
Mm-hmm.
So we saying this is what we want. So far, I think I heard three things: get rid of the boot, the boarded up house, vacant house, and fix them up for the homeless people. And the third was what was we said three things. We said about the tickets, the parking tickets, the police to get out of their cars and walk the community. So those are the three things. I need another call. I need another caller. Hold on, Dr. Sanders. 872-297-6389. Come on, people. I need you guys to call in to participate. 872-299-0808. Call in so we can talk about politics. So we got three things that we want to see happen. I need a list of about 20 things. So when I do bring on one of these mayoral candidates, I can go down a list and ask them, what are you going to do about crime? What are you going to do about parking tickets? What are you going to do about these vacant homes in its community? So these are the things that we need to talk about. And people, aren't we tired of voting for people and not getting nothing in return? Black people, we love to give away our vote and brag. We voted and it's good. We're supposed to vote. But what are we getting for our vote? We need to get a return for our investment. Your investment is your vote. That's what that is. So, all right. So,
Martin, you forgot number 4. There was 4 I gave you. Chicago Public Schools.
Okay, I got callers. I got callers. Okay, hold it, doctors. I got callers. 9399. Come on, talk to me. 93.
Good morning. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, Martin. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I can hear you loud and clear. I got one more on behind you, but I'm gonna put them on. So, what's that? 0234. I'm gonna bring you in a minute. But come on, brother, talk to us. Give me some ideas.
Okay, how you doing, Martin? This is Sam. I'm always calling in. But anyway,
go ahead, my brother Sam.
Tell the doctor. Tell the doctor everything she's saying. She has valid points. But the first thing we have to do, Martin, is build the trust.
Okay.
We have to get our people morale back. Without no trust and no morale, we're not going anywhere. So they have to take the responsibility of building back trust, and don't tell the people what they want to hear just to get a vote. Tell the people what they need to hear and do some actions. We're past talking. We're past talking. We're past marching. We past all this. It's time to show action. Our neighborhoods have been starved. They have been drained. They haven't poured into nothing into these neighborhoods. And that's the number one problem. Start with that. Build the trust. First, you have to show your actions. And what they say, Martin, the best, I'm sorry, is change actions. If don't nobody see you change, we're not going anywhere because we're constantly getting the same old thing every time. After elections, nobody know you. Nobody want to talk to you. But guess what? 2 months before the election, everybody's knocking down your door.
Right. Hold it right there, brother. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. Hey, caller. 0234. Hey, caller, I'm bringing you in right now. Where you calling from? 0234 caller. Where you calling from? Chicago. All right. What do you want to tell us? What you have to tell us?
Well, to double back on what the doctor said when she said that the fines are too ridiculous, and then you said they have to balance the budget. The sad part is that what I've seen more often than not is the law-abiding citizens that get caught up with the fines more than the crooks. Because I've watched police sit back and just watch crime before their eyes that they could have ticketed actual criminals for, and they don't do nothing. And then when it's time to get off, now they want to start filling quotas, and that's when innocent people, they pull innocent people over and rack up these bogus charges that don't exist, to get people to get these fines and things of that nature.
Hold it. Somebody's rattling some paper in the back. I don't know who's doing it, but it's bothering me. Please, people. I don't know. It's like some paper or something being rattled. Okay, whoever it is. I don't know who it is.
I heard it too.
Okay.
I didn't know what it was.
Okay, it's kind of bothered me. Okay, continue, sister. Go ahead.
Yeah, I heard it too.
Yeah, go ahead, sister. Continue.
But there's so many things, like you said about balancing the budget. There are so many solutions to these problems where they can bring these prices down, moderately, especially with the recession and all of the inflation going on. They know these things. Like, for instance, if you ask drivers what's one of the biggest thorns in their side, we have so many tow truck drivers and companies that illegally tow people cars. You know what I'm saying? They can hook that up, whereas they start finding these tow trucks. When you tow somebody's car that you shouldn't have towed, fine them. It's ways to balance the budget.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To keep it fair, so you don't have to keep.
Hold it, sister. Let me hear the brother say. Go ahead.
Once again, it's just a whole nother system that they've added on. Just like a child support system, that's like a system. So you start with who started this system. I think Daley was one of the ones who put this in play with the cameras. I mean, if I'm wrong, just correct me. But it's a system. You know what I'm saying? So you have to eradicate stuff like that. All of that can be fixed overnight. We're not even talking about reform. We ain't talking about rebudget. We ain't talking about nothing. You're talking about eradicate it, throw it out, throw it away, period. But like I say,
exactly.
We can't go.
He spoke.
All right, hold on. Hold on.
No, he spoke on. He
listen. Hold it.
He spoke on the issue about balancing the budget.
Sister, I need you to hold it. I need y'all to hold it. Hold it before we get there. I can feel it taking off, but let me reel us back in. Now, Jay Pay said, I'm going to go into the messages, the people in the chat box. Looking for politicians to solve all of your problems, never going to happen. All right. Now,
I agree.
True.
Okay. Now,
I agree. He's right.
Because just gonna have, but okay. Listen. Okay, let's go down the list. Okay. Now, before you guys came on, we got a list of we want to see the boot to get. They want the boot to get rid of the boot. They want the police officers to get out of their squad cars to walk around in the community, and they wanted to. I think the third thing we talked about. These abandoned, boarded up houses, maybe they can be fixed up for homeless people. Is there anything else you guys want to add to that list? Because I need a list, because I'm going to start interviewing some of these mayoral candidates, and I need a list to bring to them, to present to them. So is any other thing that you would like?
The school system revision.
Okay.
The school system revision. Let me explain something to you. Because our students are at a different level, because you have every charter school has to report with their licensing and credentials in order for CPS to approve them to open up. And I know that for a fact because I work for CPS. So now you have a lot of charter schools who are having problems. Now, a lot of parents do not want their children in public school. That's another issue. Now you got charter school, because the Catholic schools are pretty much almost obsolete now. So educational system for the students, that's important. Now, yes, we're not saying that the mayor, he or she, have to solve all the problems. But when you oversee a city, that's a part of your curriculum, whether you know it or not. So you have to be involved in a lot of areas. Ron Emanuel, he flipped CPS upside down. He was the mayor. You think? So the mayor has a responsibility to protect the city, not just be seen on TV, get written speeches by their PR person.
I want to go back to what you originally said about the school curriculum. Now, are you saying, this is just, I'm asking you, are you saying that get rid of the charter schools or and just keep the regular public schools, or what are you saying? Where are you at with that?
Well, we didn't have charter schools, if you recall, back in the day. It was
Answer the question, Dr. Sanders. Yes or no? You didn't want to get rid of them. You want to get rid of them?
Listen what I'm saying, because a lot of the people were not born, so they don't know that we didn't have charter schools there. So now you do have them, but the problem is that some of the charter schools accreditation is not equal to Chicago public schools. That's the point I'm making.
Okay, now do you want to get rid of them?
Problems with that.
Do you want to get rid of the charter schools? That's what I'm asking.
No, don't get rid of them, but make their curriculum, make their credits equal to CPS.
Okay.
You got it?
Hold it right there. Hold it right. I got another caller.
Right.
0941. Hold on. I got another caller. Hey, caller, go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
This is Marcus.
Hey, Marcus, how you doing? Go ahead, Marcus.
Marcus.
Go ahead.
All right. Let me say this. Charter schools weren't designed to be on the same level as regular public schools. And we did have something similar to charter schools back in the day, because the grammar school I went to, they had a program called where business would adopt the school. That's pretty much charter school, but they weren't as powerful. So Mayor Daley messed this city up. I can't blame Rahm Emanuel or Lori Lightfoot. It was already effed up when Daley got in office. The worst thing ever happened to black people in the city of Chicago was that we let them pave the way to put Daley in office. We accepted the fact, and this is my opinion, we accepted the fact that Harold Washington had a heart attack because he was a big eater. At the time that came down, I was 14 or 13 years old. I never believed that lie. And we need to quit telling these black kids.
No, he was murdered. He was murdered.
He was murdered. His
nephew told me that.
But to piggyback off what you said, brother.
Hey, Marcus.
But to piggyback off what you said, brother.
Go ahead.
And this is all I'm trying to say. What's your name, Marcus? Marcus?
Yeah,
the brother
Marcus.
that was just speaking.
Yeah, that's Marcus.
To piggyback off what you just said, brother, is and to piggyback what the sister said and the doctor said. Now to piggyback, just imagine this though. We also have some of our own voted in aldermen that was a part of Daley BS. See, this is what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? We got a lot of aldermen that you put in the seat that we voted in at the time. They was just as a part of Daley. What was it? Operation Silver Shovel. Man, we can go on and on during that time when more aldermen was born. Yeah. We talking about the son. Clark Daley was a trip too. So corruption.
I'm going back to the
I'm saying Clark Daley. Guess what? But I'm talking about Clark Daley, the son. We can go back to 1920 Al Capone days. Chicago was built on corruption. That's just telling you. So that's what it was built on corruption. That's just the truth.
Okay.
So Mayor Jane Burns, we can and racism, Mayor Jane Burns. But what I'm trying to say, to piggyback on what Marcus said, that's what I'm talking about. That Daley, even with his cronies, they was just as a part of it than anybody, because they had to know. They knew exactly what was going on. They knew his plans.
Okay.
So these are the same people who we with the aldermen went neck to neck with, but they knew. This is what I'm talking about when I say a system. And I'm saying, and I'm gonna step back, Marcus, I'm loving the conversation. All I'm saying is, before we can move forward with anything, somebody have to be real, be honest. Don't tell the people what they need to hear. Stop lying and be honest and be truthful. Without any of that, people.
Hold it right there, brother. Hold it right there. Hold it.
Out.
Hold it right there, brother. Hold it. I got a question to ask each and every last one. I'm gonna give you about a minute to answer it. Please, just take about a minute, because I want everybody to talk. Because a question is this. I'm just gonna ask you guys. I'm gonna ask you guys. I'm gonna ask you. You don't have to say it. Who would you prefer to see become mayor here in the city of Chicago? That's the first question. If you don't feel comfortable answering it on the air, it's okay. Okay. Do you ask? Okay. The first question: who would you like to see become mayor of the city of Chicago? That's the first question. The second question: do you believe that they will make a difference, not just in the black community, but for the whole entire city? And who want to go first? Dr. Sanders, you want to go first? Or what?
You're gonna let the sister go first.
Okay, we'll let all the women go first. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
I want Snoopy to be the mayor.
Okay. Oh Lord.
So Snoopy gonna give me my peanuts and my pretzels.
Okay.
I want to give Wilson a chance, but his presentation got to come a little stronger. For real.
Okay.
Not just selling us something. Willie Wilson needs to step it up. Not just passing out money, gift cards. He needs to understand how this system works. He's a Southern man that comes to the city. But I would consider giving him a chance. I would consider, know what I'm saying? I would consider, but his platform got to be a little more stronger.
Okay. Okay, my dear sister, go ahead. Ladies first. Go ahead, my sister.
Well, you know, because of my spiritual faith, I can't vote. But as far as who I would like to see, just my opinion, who I would like to see, I'll say that anybody is okay, excluding Vallis, because of what he did. You know, Vallis, I believe, is the one that was the superintendent of schools. He screwed up. So if he screwed up the schools, I can't see him being any better when it comes to running the city. So Vallis is out. He would be a very bad person to be the mayor. And Lori needs to go. You know, I've never seen one politician piss off everybody. She even pissed off her own LGBTQ community. She pissed. No one likes her. So when everybody's against you, that everybody ain't telling the same lie. So nobody likes her. And that's about it as far as who I would like to see in there. Anybody that isn't the ones that I've named. And then the other question was, do you think that they will actually make a difference? Whoever gets in there. I'm a firm believer that all politicians, whether they fall up under the red or whether they fall up under the blue, ultimately have to do with what their party tells them to do. So even if they have their own ideals and things of that nature, if the party that they serve, if what they're campaigning about or what they're promising doesn't align with what the party is, then it's not going to happen. So I guess in effect, do I think any of these people will make a difference under the current politics that we have right now, the platform that we have and the way it's going? I would have to say no.
Okay, next, Marcus or the Jim?
Sam.
Go ahead.
Okay, Sammy Shields. Put my name out there. I really want to see Jamal Green, and I'm gonna say the reason I say Jamal Green because I'm all for young blood now. I'm all for young. I love the young kids. They feisty. I just think, I just think the old ways it's not happening. I'm not saying he's gonna be perfect. That we know that because he's fighting a system. It's a system. It's the machine. And the reason why I said Jamal Green because now we're also planting a seed that's a bunch of young black men and black women running around Chicago doing all types of stuff. So maybe he can get them to change their perspective when they see a young face. So that's why I'm saying him, because I have nieces and nephews and little cousins about his age that's running around Chicago, and we know no disrespect, some of the old politicians have let the people down. And so I'm saying Jamal Green because he has the young folks' attention. And then just imagine someone seeing a young black brother, a mayor, and saying, wow, damn, I can do that. And he can relate. Is he going to make change? Yeah, he can change some ways of thinking. But once again, we all know that it's bigger than him. It's that machine, those hidden, what they call those hidden people that we don't see. Them the problem. Them the people we have to worry about. The people who we never see. Them the people we have to worry about. So that's why I wanted the young man, the young blood, because maybe he can get some other kids to think outside the box and take the lid off.
Hold it. All right there. Okay, come on, Marcus. What's your thoughts, Marcus? Marcus?
Well, you know, I don't think none of them. I'm here.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
I don't think none of the ones currently running is going to, I might be answering your second question first.
Okay.
It's going to change anything. All right. This city is too messed up right now. You need somebody. I came up during the Harold Washington era. You need somebody who knows politics, who not just on a local level, but on a national level, and is going to come out here swinging. And I mean swinging with the knowledge that how this whole system is run. And because these white folks are racist. This is about racism. And they will run. I mean, this is a city that's known for gangsterism. Now, the current mayor that's in there, she inherited this. And when certain people don't like a certain person, we better examine that. We got somebody in there that's black. You know, I'm not a big fan of Lori Lightfoot, but we got somebody in there that's black. We need to keep her in there until we can get somebody else that is going to win that's going to come in there swinging and hold that seat and do something for black people in this city. Chewy get in office, it's over for black people.
Okay.
So can I ask you a question?
Hold on.
Is what you're saying that the
hold
color
on, sister,
hold
on. We done with that. Done with that. I got another question. We're done that because I wanted to drag it on. We're gonna move a little different. Okay, Jay Pay said we are harder on black politicians. Black politicians have to be Jesus Christ and perform miracles. White politicians have screwed us for decades, and we keep them in office for several terms. Now, y'all want to talk about, let's talk about that real quick. I'll read it again. We are harder on black politicians. Black politicians have to be Jesus Christ and perform miracles. White politicians have screwed us for decades, and we keep them in office for several terms. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm finna restart the stream. Let's see. Okay, I'm still in. It's in now. Okay, it's in. We good. Okay, are we back, everybody? Let me see. Make sure. Let me talk to the audience real quick. Can y'all see me? All right. Can y'all see me? Okay, you gotta be careful how you speak on this platform. That is so true. Sound back, everything back. Okay, y'all. Get back to the question. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Now, we're going to ask the question. Are we harder on black politicians? Black politicians have to be Jesus Christ and perform miracles, and white politicians have screwed us for decades, and we keep them in office for several terms. So I need you guys to comment on that. Give me your comment. Try to make it in a minute, people. A minute, at least 2 minutes at least. All right, do that for me. Okay, whoever want to go first?
Go ahead. The women go first.
The women go first. Okay. Okay.
Well, that is true because we had Mayor Bilandic and we had old man Richard J. Daley. But a lot of our black people were being really like marionette puppets under them because Dad Daley was the one, if you look at it, Dad and son were the longest ones that served the term. Then when Mayor Washington got in, literally, he was coming in with an agenda that would help the people. And all those contracts he was giving to a lot of our people as well. It pissed them off. So when we talk about Black politicians, we need politicians that are not going to be bought and sold out to nobody. That includes the mafia. Bought and sold out. That's our problem. Because some of our people that are running are in hand with a lot of the white people. And that's being realistically, no matter what age they are. They got to not do it because then they're not taking care of us, our needs as a community, as a race, for anyone. It's just they sell out too much. That is the problem. So when you get the Italians in office, they are in there a long time. And what happens? Nobody does anything. And I know from watching the polls, because I work as a judge, I see how many people come out to vote. I see more other colors than I do us.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sanders. Come on, my dear sister. Go ahead, my dear sister. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's true. They do put more pressure on Black politicians. But I believe it's for kind of something, some of the reasons what the doctor said. You know, they put more pressure on them because it's one thing when another race do you dirty. It's a whole nother situation when your own race do you dirty. So therefore, you know, you want to see these people in there. You want to see your race represented. And then all of the promises and everything that they use to get you to vote for them. Then when they get in there, nothing happens. You know, we saw on a mass scale, you know, we saw it with Obama. You know, the first term, he was very popular with everybody. And then by the second term, he had lost a big following of Black people. And when they asked him, you know, what happened, you know, we constantly heard, vote for your people, vote for your people. You know, let's get our people in there. And then when he got in there, and then when the question was, what are you going to do for us? Oh, well, I'm not just Black people's president, I'm everybody's president. But it's a known fact that every politician, whether they're at the federal level, I mean, as far as the White House, or even if they're aldermen, mayors, things of that nature, they all have an agenda to advance their own. So why is it that every politician, every other race can do things for their own people and it's okay? But then when a Black politician get in there and we say, well, what are you going to do for us? Then we're told, oh, well, they're not just for you, they're for everybody. See, that's a Jedi mind trick that they play on us. Okay. And we keep getting these politicians in there. And when we say, well, what are you going to do for us? Well, I have to represent everybody. But you wasn't representing everybody when you was running. You was representing us when you was running. So, there is more pressure on Black politicians because, like she said, we're tired of them being bought and sold. You sell us a dream to get in office, and then after you get in office, you play these same old political games, which is why I said earlier about that one question. I don't think nothing going to change because the game hasn't changed.
Okay, you got 14 seconds. Go ahead. That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, my brother. Okay, you're done. Okay.
Well, to add to what the sister just said, I'm going to use two words, and it's expectations and relate. And the reason why I'm using those words because people feel the same person that they put in office, they should be able to relate. I shouldn't have to tell them what I want or what we need because we coming from the same block in the same pages in the same book. We all on the same book, might be different pages, but we get where we coming from. So when that person don't deliver, the expectations is killed. So that's why a lot of people are let down when it comes to certain Black politicians because they say, man, you should know better. We come from the same cloth. And that's how I feel about certain people to say, man, I shouldn't have to tell you because we come from the same cloth. So I would think that we'll be on the same page. We'll want the best for each other, but it's not always like that. So that's what the problem is. It's the great expectation because you kind of already know what you're going to get from the system, from the white people. You know, not to put them all in one basket, but we kind of already know how that's going to go. But to say, man, I'm going to send this brother, my friend, whatever he is, the guy that should know where I come from, I'm going to send him to represent me. And then for you not to get represented, it becomes personal. So that's why some Black politicians catch it like they catch it, because you of all people have the nerve to do this and you understand what we're going through. Does it make sense?
Okay. All right, bro. All right, Marcus, go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead, Marcus.
You know, I agree with all of them. I mean, I agree with all of them because we expect more from black politicians. We expect, Harold Washington did it when he got in office, but he wasn't in office long enough to complete what he started. But he didn't apologize for doing what he said. I'm going to do for my people first. I'm the mayor for the entire city of Chicago, but I'm going to help my black people first because they're the ones that ain't been helped. Our black politicians, they say, come out and vote for me. I'll set you free. I'll do this. And when they get in office, they forget about it. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of Lori Lightfoot, but Lori Lightfoot forgot about us. A couple of more black politicians, those aldermen who we put in office, they said, vote for me. They forgot about us once they got in office. And they go hunker down with the other people. We're the only group of people that's not using our political power to look out for our people. And then we apologize when we attempt to do it. So black people, a lot of black people have just lost faith in voting. That's why the low turnout is at the polls, because they feel, what's the use of me voting? It doesn't matter if I vote for somebody black or white. They're not going to change nothing. It's not going to change my life. I almost gave up on voting. I almost didn't vote in this recent election because I thought to myself, what is the use of voting? How is it going to affect me?
Okay, that's good. I got another question for you guys. I got another question. Jay Pay, man, you work at me tonight. He said maybe they are mad at Lori because she can't be bought. She won't do backroom deals. Just saying. I agree with Marcus. You have a black mayor, but is going to fight to get rid of a black mayor divide. So he just made a statement. I'm going to read it again. And Dr. Sanders, you can go. Then my dear sister can go. Maybe they are mad at Lori because she can't be bought. She won't do backroom deals. Just saying, I agree with Marcus. You have a black mayor, but is going to fight to get rid of a black mayor divide. Other words, to me, this is where I'm interpreting that. He's saying that we already got a black mayor already, but now we're going to fight to get rid of this, get rid of her, and it's going to send a divide. Dr. Sanders, what you got to say about that? It's just a matter of opinion. I'm not endorsing no candidate on here. So.
Well, number one, in my view from listening to Lori, she started on the north side. And one thing that I learned about Lori, she's not originally from Chicago, so she really don't know Chicago. She went to school, college here, but she don't know Chicago. We're not saying we hate her because of whatever she wants to do with her personal life. But Lori is not listening. That's the issue that we have. We don't listen. She's not listening. She's hearing, but she only shows up in certain areas. She will not come to Auburn Western. She will not come to Inglewood. She won't even come to Woodlawn. It's got to be something more important. Then she has a whole different concept about affordable housing. First of all, she's a corporate lawyer. She deals with acquisitions. That's her specialty. I don't take that from her. But we're not saying that we hate her. We don't like the game that she plays. Although she may say she don't take back rooms, we don't know what she's doing. We ain't with her every day. We not. But she's not listening to the needs of our community, particularly our race. She's not listening. And that's how I feel about her. You're not listening. You said you was. You said you're going to be. Then you went over to the LGBTQIA. And then they're over there. Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. But then you look and you do things over there. But over here, you won't fix not one ant hole. You won't. North side, clean, nice, smooth. Over here, we're riding on camelbacks. That's what she does. So it's not that I don't want her in there because she's whatever she chooses to live. It's what comes out of her mouth. It's a thought process in her head. Because I watch what she does. Okay, what you gonna do with us? Well, you know, it should turn her head. There's certain moves that Lori does. I'm like, so you're not really listening to your people. You're doing what you want to do. Okay. That's my thought.
Thank you. My dear sister, go ahead, sister. I'm going to read the question. Let me read it for you again. He just made a statement. He said, you good? You want to go now?
Yeah, you can read it again.
Okay. Jay Pay said,
no,
I'll read it again. Maybe they are mad at Lori because she can't be bought. She won't do backroom deals. Just saying. I agree with Marcus. You have a black mayor, but is going to fight to get rid of a black mayor divide. So that's okay. Other words, what I believe what Jay is saying is we already got a black mayor in here. Now we trying to get rid of her and let one of these white people get in there, or Latino brother get in there is a done deal. But go ahead, my dear sister. Go ahead, my dear sister. Go ahead.
Well, I would say just like what the doctor said a few minutes ago. We don't know what deal she's doing behind closed doors, so we can't just automatically say that she's not being bought and sold. We don't know that because we don't know that. Number one. Number two, she made the newspaper. I think it was, what was it, last year, something like that. Either last year or year before last. That was last year, I think it was, where, you know, she basically, you know, went in, you know, to the meeting like a gang member, you know, and it was in all the newspapers and it was across all the news. And basically she told the aldermen that if they didn't vote her way, that she would not release the money that is to go to their ward. You know what I'm saying? That's a bully. That's extortion. You know, but you telling a whole team of aldermen that if they don't do what you say, that you're going to penalize them and you're not going to release the funds to go into their ward. It made the news. It made the newspaper. This actually happened. Yes, so when you're doing stuff like that, are you a mayor or are you a gang member? Because that took a lot of heart for her to go in there. First of all, she's supposed to have been fired that day. She's supposed to have been fired that day. That's extortion. That's blackmail. So when we keep talking about her color, at what point? Because I'm gonna tell you something. It doesn't make me feel any better because everybody keeps talking about race, her color. It don't make me feel better when a black person does the crime. I don't look at a crime and say, oh, you know what? Well, the white person did it, not a black person did it. But it doesn't bother me as much when the black person do it. It bothers me when whatever color do it, when it's wrong. So I'm not into supporting people just because of the color of their skin if they're not doing anything for their people. And see, that's the problem that we're having with this playing this race game when it comes to politics, because we got so many people saying vote for color, but you're not looking at these people's policies. You ain't went into their background and see what. Look at Kamala Harris. Look at Joe Biden. Everybody voted for him because he was up under Obama, but he's the one that did the war on drugs that sent all of the men to jail in the 80s and the 90s. There's no way people should have voted for that man. He's proved from the beginning he wasn't for us. So at what point do we stop following just color when we see them doing wrong? And when do we say, you know what? You're just bad at your job. It has nothing to do with the color. You're just bad at your job and you need to be removed. So that's how I see that as far as the Lori Lightfoot thing. Look at our street. I mean, and everybody talk about Daley. Yes, well, everybody already know the story of Daley and all of that and the stuff that he did and the meters and all of that stuff downtown with the parking. But if there's one thing we can say about Daley, and I'm sure we can all agree, our streets never looked like this under him. We got work that's been going on the expressway in Chicago for over a decade. That is outrageous, and that happened under Rahm and Lori Lightfoot. They're not putting the money into the street.
Okay, hold it.
Where's the money going?
Hold it right there, sister. Hold it right there. Let my brothers go now. Come on, my brother.
Well, let me say this.
Okay.
Let me say this to the guy that had the question. Just because a person disagrees, don't mean they hate. So the word hate, I just don't agree with. Well, I don't know Lori like that personally.
No, he didn't use hate.
All I can say is what she showed me. No.
Hold it, brother. He didn't use hate. Let me read it to you. Brother, hold it. He didn't say. He said maybe they are mad at Lori because she can't be bought. She won't do backroom deals.
Okay. And no one's mad. My fault, Dan. I apologize for the word. I thought it was mad. No one's mad. If I tell you, listen, I'm gonna take the word mad out and I'm gonna say concern. I'm one of these guys that watch the words I use, so I'm gonna say concern. And one of the things, just to go off the doctor, she say about the Lori Lightfoot, the meters and things like that. Then to go off the other queen, she was stating about Lori not being able, like not listening, and not this. And the only reason I'm saying, I'm just sticking to that, Jamal Green, because we know that one of Chicago's biggest problems is the youth, is the young teenagers, is the that we see it. We Martin is on show every day talking about the cars, the young men's taking cars, then we have a bunch of young ladies losing their life. We've never seen this in Chicago where we have young ladies dying. Then we have, we dying of gunplay. No one should die of gunplay, but we got mothers being killed and the kids not. So what I'm trying to say is change the mindset. And to go off what the doctor said, and I'm going to get 10 more seconds. It goes back to the word relate. Lori Lightfoot is not from Chicago, so she can't relate. Obama wasn't from Chicago. He can't relate. Michelle was, but he wasn't. See, that's what I'm trying to say. I can't tell a woman how to have a baby because I can't get pregnant. So I can't tell nobody how to get out of Chicago if you've never been in the belly of the beast. Chicago is the belly of the beast. It's a beautiful city, but it's a whole lot of beasts. That's a hidden beasts. So you have to understand what they're saying. Lori know what time it is. She's on both sides. She's a politician, and she played both sides. She's playing all sides, and the worst thing you can have is someone that can choose a side. We're not saying choose a side. When you're the mayor, you're the mayor of everybody. We know how that goes. But you also have to say, listen, these people right here been starved. These people right here have disparities. These people right here haven't been taken care of. Let me pour into them. Let me try to even the field. Let me try to balance things out. But that's not what's happening.
Okay. Hold it right there, brother. Hold it right there.
And that's why I keep saying Jamal Green.
Okay.
Go ahead, bro.
Right there. Go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead. Marcus, you next.
I'm here. Okay. So
you want
I'm just saying.
You want me to read it?
We have somebody in office.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
You can read the statement.
Okay. Let me read it for you. Let me reread it for you. Maybe they are mad at Lori because she can't be bought. She won't do backroom deals. Just saying. I agree with Marcus. You have a black mayor, but is going to fight to get rid of a black mayor. Divide. It's going to divide. So go ahead, brother.
Okay, so basically what he's saying is that a lot of people are mad because she's not doing backdoor deals. I agree with him on that. But I don't know for certain that she's not taking any payoffs. On the surface, from what we can see, I don't see her she can't be bought. She can't be controlled by certain people who are used to controlling this city. And that goes beyond the color barrier, okay? You got some black people that's mad with her because she won't give them what they want. I don't think that no politician is going to stop these kids from doing what they're doing. They're far too gone. They're not listening to nobody. They don't care if you put Jamal Green or anybody else in City Hall. They're not going to fix this problem. Harold Washington was in City Hall, and we had gangs warring with each other. That's going to always be around.
Bro, that was
my brother. You got to let him talk now. You got to let him talk. We're trying to get some order in the house now.
Let me talk.
Go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead.
It's just my opinion. I don't think none of the ones that's running right now have the chance of getting in City Hall, because I'm watching their campaign, and all of them, I mean, they're not running a straight campaign. The average people in these communities right now could care less about the mayoral race because the damage is done to us already. We put people in office and they didn't do nothing. Nothing has happened. What do you, to a family that's living in a cold, dark house, their lights out? What do you say? You're campaigning. What can you do for them now? We need to keep somebody that's already in there, because we're going to get the worst. And somebody said something about Joe Biden. I would rather have Joe Biden than have Trump. I'm sorry, but we didn't have nobody running. We didn't have nobody to come behind Obama to take the White House. Because black people don't have they're not sitting, they tell the white folks everything they're doing. They're not having no little private meetings or who we going to groom to run and beat these people. That's going to be fair. You got to be fair to everybody, but you got to help your people as well. You can't get in office and then forget about the promises that you made to your people.
Okay. That's it?
That's my take.
Okay. All right, people. I got one more question for y'all. Get the rally now. Listen. That's why I said that I'm trying to keep control of the conversation because once you talk about politics and religion, everybody just it goes all over the place. All over the place. I don't mind y'all calling out different politician names. It is what it is. Now, personally, some of you guys got different picks. My thing is, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to develop a list of 20 things that whenever I have the opportunity or get the opportunity to interview one of these mayoral candidates, I would ask him those questions and see. And I want y'all to look at it like this. When you look up the word politician, it means liar. And some of these politicians, I'm not gonna call no name, they'll do anything and say anything just to get in your office and just get your vote. And I always say, this is what I always say, it's two people that politicians cater to. They cater to the ones who bankroll them. Also, they cater to the ones who they most fear, and you know who that is. And you know, in both cases, that's where it is. It's either the white people and the ones that's bankrolling them. And I'm gonna tell you, people, that's how it normally works. Anything else might get left behind, probably will get left behind. It is. And I agree with some of the things that you guys said, what Marcus said, that on the point where the people that need the most help, that's what I believe the mayoral candidate should focus on. And I believe it's the Black people that need the most help in this city right now, because we're leaving this city. We've been flushed out of our neighborhoods by gentrification. We see it right now. How can you bring thousands of immigrants over here in this city and house them? And we got people right now that's sleeping under Lower Wacker, Tent City, and we got people that have been on the waiting list for years on years, people. So that's just my take on that. Let me get another question for you guys. I need another question for you guys. All right, let me get the question ready for y'all. All right. I'm going in the comments and get it because some people don't call in. All right, here's another question. Hey, Martin, I'm interested to hear everyone's opinion on a very important subject. Who would you be interested in, and who do you think would be the best mayor? We already answered that, So you must have came in late, so we did answer that. Okay. All right. Now, let me ask y'all a question now. Now, one sister said already, she don't care what color you are. She just wrong is wrong. She want the job to be done right. I guess I'm paraphrasing it right. So now, are we guilty? Let me ask this question. Black people, even myself, are we guilty because a person is Black? We just voting for them just because they're Black. Are we guilty of doing that in the community? Yeah, well, come on, somebody. Yep. All right, well,
we do that.
Talk, sister, talk on that subject. Give you a minute. I'm going to go down the line. Go ahead, give you a minute. Why you think we do that?
We do that, and I understand. I understand why we do it. We do it because we want to see ourselves represented with a person who has the power to actually be able to help us. So I can understand completely, psychologically, why we do it. We want to see our people up there. We want to be able to look and say, yeah, they for us. You know, we got, like what the brother said, you put them in office with the hopes that, you know, they already know my struggles. They know where I come from. So they're going to do the right thing. So we do vote based on color. But the problem is that a lot of times we don't do the research first to find out what these people were doing. You know what I'm saying? Before we catch them when they campaign. We catch them when they campaign. You know, nobody goes in and looks, because it's one thing we don't do as a race. We don't research. Find out where these people come from. If you go and you do the research on Lori and Kamala and all of these people, and you follow their career, then you get to finding out they was a part of all of this stuff, and they took cases where they was locking up Black people and all this type of stuff. And then you looking at it and you saying, well, this person wasn't never for me. They didn't start being for me until they started running and they wanted my Black vote.
Okay, hold it right there, sister.
So, you know, if
hold it right there, sister. That's good. That's good enough. Dr. Sanders, go ahead. Go ahead real quick. Are we guilty of voting for a person because they're Black? Yeah, go ahead.
All of them have to have the seniors, the children, and people at large, including our race, at heart. The brother mentioned about Jamal. I'm not hitting on him, but I remember when I first met Harold Washington, because my uncle used to work for him, and I used to work downtown. And when I met him, I said he wasn't about him being black. It was his agenda. What did he prove to us when he built over there on 47th Street, the new affordable housing? And he died the same day. A lot of the candidates are not looking at the history. As she said before, know these people. If you are running as a single man or a single woman, your stuff should be right. You shouldn't be coming with janky stuff. Come with facts. Don't be, oh, I'm too young. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Yeah, you better listen, because they're the ones who pay your salary. So the thing of it is that all the candidates need to go back and review the reality of the history. And that way it makes us have a choice. But yes, we've all been guilty. Well, we voted for Mayor Washington because he was the first black mayor. Then, we tried to give Lori a chance. But look at the difference. Look at the difference. So we have to learn how to find out where they come from and how do they know us. Because every time we get a mayor, they put their own friends or buddies or pals that don't live in the city from out of Chicago, and they put them in position, and they think they know the city, including the police chief. You don't know stuff about Chicago, but she put them in there.
Okay, yep. That's good enough. Come on, brother. That's good enough, Dr. Sanders. That's enough. Come on, my brother.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me say this. I remember exactly where I was when Harold Washington died. I was in 7th grade at Holy Angels when they announced that Harold Washington died. So I'm very much aware of Harold Washington. But where I'm going with this is that was different times, that was different energy, and that was different spirits. So this is what I'm saying now to fast forward to 2022, where we don't have it, where there's a lot of parental involvement, where there's a lot of unity, there's a lot of
okay, brother,
hurt.
Hold on.
There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of distrust.
Brother, hold on. Let me help you out. The question is, are we guilty of voting because the person is black? Why do we do that?
That's where I'm going, Mark.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't go off of what I'm saying is that that's what I'm getting to.
Okay, go ahead.
They keep saying Harold Washington, I get that. So I'm getting there. What I'm trying to say is,
you got a minute now, brother.
They're saying now Lightfoot, right?
Right.
At some point, I know when to get off the boat. I know when to say it's time for me to back up, because you know how they say certain people can just keep digging a hole deeper and deeper and deeper. At some point, we have to say, okay, we gave that person a chance, and it's not even just about Lightfoot. It's just about that person, whoever's in that seat. If they're not doing the job, let's get out of there, because we're already in the negative. We can't afford to have, we're not saying perfection. It's not about perfection. It's about effort and commitment. Perfection, we know it's not the perfect, but we're talking about effort and commitment. We're already in the negatives. So that's why I keep saying, I'm just letting the panel know why I'm saying Jamal. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Because I get it. When I remember 7th grade, I was devastated when Harold Washington died. Okay. But I'm talking about the energy. I'm talking about the spirits now of Chicago.
Okay. Hold it right there, brother. Hold it right there. Come on, Marcus. Come on, Marcus.
Okay. Yeah, I think we are guilty of voting black because the person is black. But the way I vote personally, I educate myself on who I'm voting for. I look at each candidate and see what they've done, and what they've done that can trickle down right to me, how it affect my personal life. But I have voted. I voted years ago in the gubernatorial race. It was a black person running. I didn't vote for that person. I voted for a white person because I saw what they were doing. And I felt that I think that this person would be the perfect fit for Illinois as governor. I wasn't looking at black, but a lot of black people vote black because they expect black people to save them, to deliver them from the trenches, to clean up the hood. We expected Obama to clean up the hood. We expected Obama to make Inglewood a rich neighborhood. It didn't happen that way, and we were disappointed. We voted for him because he was black, because all the other white folks wasn't doing nothing for him. So we are guilty of not educating ourselves and voting for people who are black. And white supremacy works like this. They're going to vote for a black person. We're going to control the black person that they're voting for.
Okay. Marcus, let me say this.
Martin.
Okay, you want to say something, Dr. Sanders? I got another question because you want to say something? Because I got another question.
Yeah, I want to make this as an example. When Woodlawn had a face-off, we had 3 people that was running, and one of them was the rapper songwriter Shay Ronfest. The other one was Andre Smith, and the other one was George somebody.
Right.
All 3 of these men I met with eye to eye. My husband and I, we met with them face to face in my house. And the same questions that you were opposing, I proposed those same questions. There you go. So Shay Ronfest, he's a Hollywood, he wrote something for Kanye. Whoopee. Andre Smith, well, I don't mean no disrespect, but he'll do it anyway. And George, we never see him no more. And who did it fall back to? Cochran. That's what it did. Because nobody had a platform. And I had the interview with these men in my living room. And I asked them all the same question. What are you going to do? See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why you understand what I'm saying now?
I understand.
That's the problem. It's always a him and a haw. Know what you're saying.
All right, listen to this. JP again, boy. JP, boy, he letting us have it tonight. He said black people voted for Harold Washington because he was black and we wanted change. Harold Washington ran for mayor and lost his first bid, but we came together and we raised money and he built a coalition. That's beautiful. That's facts, people.
That's right.
Black people voted for Harold Washington.
I remember that. I was 20 years old when he died.
Right. So it was a good thing that we voted for Harold, those of us who's black, because I voted for him the second time. First time I wasn't old enough. But a coalition did come out of that, people. Now the coalition is probably all bust up now. People done died out and some went this way and that way. So maybe it's time for another coalition. Maybe one of these candidates or the sitting mayor can build a coalition in office. So what do you guys think? You want to say something on that, Dr. Sanders? Hello?
I'm like the sister. She's a bully. I don't like bullies. Bullies need to be destroyed.
Sister had a good point, though. She had a very good point.
If you come to her, she's got to want to listen. This is the problem I have. Lifer doesn't listen. You keep going north. But there are some people that are south, southeast, southwest, borderline before you get to the suburbs. If she's going to sit her behind down and listen, she might be able to stand another term, but she won't do it. So when she gets upset about something that's really minute, then she want to throw out the bully card. But guess what? Bullies get beat. Because nobody like no bully. I promise you they don't. So if she wants to remain, she needs to change her attitude. I don't care about her doctor daughter and her girlfriend, whatever. I don't care about all that. What you gonna do for our people? What are you gonna do to change? Because we don't like your bully. You bully, we put you out. How about that?
Okay, go ahead, my dear sister.
I'm just saying.
What was the question, Martin?
Okay, this is Jay Pace said it's really not a question. He made a statement. He said black people voted for Harold Washington because he was black and we wanted change. Harold Washington ran for mayor and lost his first bid, but we came together and we raised money and he built a coalition.
Okay. Well, Harold Washington, we definitely got lucky on that one because even though I was a little girl, there isn't anybody who lived in Chicago and didn't know the wonderful things that man did. When I tell you that man gave us some faith and some hope and we smiled. And I remember somebody earlier in the program, somebody talked about how they said that nobody will be able to reach out to the youth or whatever. They was like, even when Harold Washington was mayor, but I don't know if they remember that Harold Washington is the one that got the gang members to do a ceasefire. Because see, what he did was he went to the different gang chiefs and talked to them and told them,
because I hear some echo.
We need a ceasefire.
Somebody, listen, y'all do me a favor. If you're not talking, put your phone on mute because I hear some talking. So here's something. If you're not talking, just put your phone on mute. Go ahead, my dear sister. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, my dear sister.
Yeah, Harold Washington, he orchestrated through the game, you know, for a ceasefire. But that was because once again he had that charisma, you know, because he understood the people. So he had no problem walking into the middle of a war and telling them, "Can I talk to the chief?" and saying, "Come talk to me. You know, I'm not the police. I'm not none of that. Talk to me man to man. You know, so that we can get some things done for our city." And they stopped shooting because Harold Washington asked them to stop shooting. So it's all about, I mean, like I said, we got lucky with him. We got very lucky with him because I'm gonna tell you something. When she won, when Lori won, there was just like when Obama won, there was a sense of, wow, we got it. We finally we got it, because what we hoped for was, we was like, we got the next Harold Washington, and this time it's a woman. So we were all excited. And then to be given this, you know what I mean? It's like, there are no words for it, you know, because she can't hold a candle to Harold Washington. And it was very insulting that they kept putting his face up there and using his name to get her in office, you know, and Harold Washington flipping over his grave, looking at the way she running this city. So it's a situation where, you know, Harold Washington actually loved the people. He was a politician that actually loved the people. Because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, even though he did things for the black race, he was a wonderful mayor overall. I have yet to even hear older white people to say they hated Harold Washington. All the white people I know be like, he was a wonderful mayor. So he was just a good guy all around.
Well, let me help you out,
You know?
sister. Let me help you out.
I can't see.
Let me help you out. The white folks didn't like Harold Washington. Trust me, they're the ones behind his death.
No.
They didn't like. I understand what you're saying.
When I say white folks,
yeah,
I'm not talking about politicians and their parties. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the day-to-day white people. I have not met one that has came that when you talk about them, where they say, "Well, I hated him," or anything like that. I've yet to have that, because at the end, he did what he did, and he helped who he helped.
Okay.
But did he cause any grave harm to any races while he was in office? The answer is no.
No.
He didn't really. I mean, who did he hurt? He didn't hurt nobody.
All right, we're gonna leave right there. Hold it right there. Okay, my brother, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, coalition. That's great. That's great wishful thinking. But first, you have to be open-minded to that. And we're talking about some people are just stuck in their ways. You know, and so when you say a coalition within the black race, or let's form a coalition, antenna's going to go up, because once again, Lori can't play that game, because she's going to offend a lot of people. And some people don't realize in politics, you're going to offend some people, but that's not the game Lori want to play, because 1 minute she's on the police side, then 1 minute she's on the black people side, then 1 minute she's on the LGBTQ side. So Lori is playing a game. She's playing her game, her chess. So when you say in a coalition, great, but you have to be open-minded to a coalition, and that's not where she's at. She's, like you say, it's her. She lets you know it's me, then everybody else gets in line.
Okay.
So that coalition, I agree with them, but you have to have someone that's open-minded and open heart to that. She's just not that person.
Okay.
You know, she's not that person.
Okay, Marcus, go ahead.
A coalition would be great, but we have to come together in order to form a coalition. You know, people got to quit fighting each other. We got to form a coalition. We can't we can't broadcast it on the 10 o'clock news. Hey, we forming a coalition to put this person in office. You know, what Harold Washington did was great. And yeah, he brought peace to the city, but it wasn't 100% peace to the city. He brought gangs together and met with them, but they were still doing the killing. And so all I can say is a coalition. I would like to see a coalition form. I would like to see that coalition put somebody in office that's going to be fair to all people. Harold Washington, another thing we learned from Harold Washington, he was open-minded, he was fair, he listened to everybody, not just the black people. He listened to the white people. he got everybody feedback, and he was trying to give everybody a slice of the pie. And there were some greedy people hidden behind the scenes that didn't like that. And they weren't all white. They were black too. They hated that because we're in a city that's run by the mob. We're in a city that's run by corruption. And darkness don't like light. And so you put somebody in City Hall that's full of light, which Harold Washington was. I don't expect the candidates that's running now to be Harold Washington. I want them to be them. I think Jamal Green would be good for forming a coalition because he has the young people's ear and he can galvanize the young people. And those young people are going to form a coalition, and then they're going to go out in the street and form a coalition of voters. I think that's his strong point, and that will get him in City Hall.
I agree with that. I agree with that. You know, most of you guys know I hang out with Jamal sometime, but I agree with that. If Jamal can probably get 40% of the young people to vote, register and vote, it's a possibility that he probably could get in if he get on the ballot. So we know they're fighting now, trying to fight on, get on the ballot.
Let me say this.
Go ahead.
Once he do that, you're going to have that energy of Harold Washington. I ain't been paid by Jamal or none of that. I have my disagreements with him, and I agree with him. I see the energy. If he do that, he's going to galvanize this whole city. It's going to go beyond the color barrier. The police is going to hate him. They already hate him. But excluding them, he's going to galvanize the city. You're going to see that energy that you've seen with Obama when we put hope in Obama, and you're going to see that energy that you've seen with Harold Washington. I see this because he's young. And if he can get young people to form a coalition, those college students, because it was college students that helped get Harold Washington in office too. If he can get all of these young black people and white people and Hispanic people in the same room together and form this coalition, he's going to be the next mayor of the city of Chicago.
Okay, so hold it right there, Marcus.
The question is,
I got a question.
Look out, it's lighting up now.
I got a question for you all.
Oh, Lord. Okay, come on, Dr. Sanders, then I'm going to let my sister go. No, okay, go ahead, Dr. Sanders. Go ahead. Y'all, it's getting heated now. Go ahead. I'm just trying to keep it order in the house. That's all. I want to give everybody a chance to speak. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders. Go ahead.
No, right. Okay. I want to ask this question.
Okay.
Is Jamal Green willing to listen? Because I've seen him not want to listen. One of the things that will get you flunked out off that ballot is your mouth, and you're not listening. He feel I don't have to listen to y'all. I know what I'm doing. What is your background? All of them, from Willie Wilson all the way down. I'm not picking on him. He's a young man, older than my child. My oldest is 36. Will he sit down and listen and understand history in order to explain it to other young people? Because he's barking up on something for formality or familiarity or popularity. Which one is it? But Jamal got to sit down and listen. Because he turned me off, and I know he did. I'm like, okay, so this little black boy don't want to listen. So before you get there, guess what Dr. Martin Luther King had to do? He didn't get there by himself. Vernon Johns helped him get there. But nobody talks about Vernon Johns. He went to Vernon Johns' house, and he set his behind down, and he listened to him.
So the question is...
So if Jamal want to run, will he sit down and listen to us that were here before him and his mama was born? That's my cue to him.
Okay. I think that sister had my other sister, did you want to say something? Okay. Anybody want? Go ahead.
No,
sister.
just the only thing I would say is for the voters, especially our people, just do your research. Do your research, before you head to the polls and actually find out, what these people are about. You go into their history and find out the campaigns that they worked on and the things that they voted on, to let that, steer you toward, whatever decision that you want to make for a candidate. Because at the end of the day, whatever happens with these politicians, and nobody likes to say it, but when you vote for them and they get in office and they do wrong, it's on you too, because you voted them in. So, you have to take part of the responsibility for that. And, ignorance is not an excuse. Well, I didn't know they did that. You could have knew they did that if you would have, followed their background and you would have went and did some research and found out what they were involved in, before they started being on your screen and being told that this is our new candidate for, whatever party that you're voting for. Because a lot of times you would be surprised. You might find that the person who was on the other party that you said you wouldn't vote for, their mission might align more with what it is you're trying to achieve. Because at the end of the day, it's not even about a party. It's about your policy and what is it that you want to bring to the city and what you want to see change.
Okay. My brother that was speaking highly of Jamal Green. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, how you doing? Yeah,
good. Go ahead.
Like I say, and I would say this to the doctor also, and I think it has to go both ways. That I come from the school of be seen and not heard, and I think that a lot of these young folks need to be heard. We need to listen to them too. We need to listen to them too. So that's just my view. Like I say, he can change. Anybody have change. So I'm pretty sure, if someone go to him and say, man, we need you to listen more, then because it's all about communication. Like Brother Marcus said, if nobody's coming together to communicate, to say, hey, what problem do you have with me? Well, the problem with you is that you're not listening. Okay, maybe I'll be a better listener. But we also everybody has to listen to each other. But we're thinking about, we have to realize, like you said, I have kids 25, 29, 20, 30, that would try to cut you off and they think they know everything. But at the same token, I also have to learn to listen to them. And then I can rebuttal and then say, okay, well, do you mind if I respond? Yeah, because guess what? I listened to you for 15 minutes, right? Yeah, you did that. So let me talk to you now for 5 minutes. So it just goes both ways where he has to learn to listen, but we also have to listen to them. And that's just, I was on a show with Martin about a few weeks ago, and I think the Queen that's on here now. And my biggest thing was we do all these panels, we do all these big things, but no one tends to invite the young kids. We got a bunch of adults that got degrees, that got doctorates. They sit up here with all their little quotas and what they studied, but no one invite the young kids in. And that's just from my experience and what I see working with the youth. That I tell a lot of people, I don't want to do business with them if the kids can be a part of what I'm doing.
Okay,
because I don't know everything. But we have to go to them.
Okay,
to see what's up. So
hold it right there, brother. Okay, Marcus, go ahead.
Yeah, we have to listen to the young people. The young people have to also be willing to listen to the elders, because the elders have been around here long enough. Dr. Sanders has been around here long enough. And I would listen to her. I wouldn't just turn my back to her like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And me and you, Martin, both know that we have walked with these young people when they were activists, and a lot of them thought they knew everything and didn't want to listen. Mm-hmm. But they don't know everything. And I think that I'm not picking on Jamal per se. I hate to really call out the candidates like that. I don't want Jamal to think I'm picking on him, but Jamal, if you're listening to this broadcast, your one of your weaknesses is, and this is coming from me, is that you do not listen to certain people. You're going to run for mayor, you need to be listening to everybody. Listen to everybody, even though you don't agree with them. Give them that ear and let them know that you're listening to them. That's the only way you're going to get in City Hall. You got to listen to the white folks. You got to listen to the police department, the fire department. If you don't exclude them in your conversation, you're not going to get the endorsement you need. You're not going to get, they vote too. So you have to listen to everybody. And older people have to listen, especially older Black people. They think that a young Black person can't tell them nothing. A young Black person can save your life if you listen to them. Trust me, I know.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hey. Well, let me just say this, people. Now, I'm almost flip it a little bit. Now, Willie Wilson, now we know he's a philanthropist. He gives a lot of money out and food and all this. Do you guys think that he can build a coalition here in the city of Chicago? That's just a question. That's my question. I just want to know. I'm not endorsing nobody. I just want to speak on it because I know Willie got a big name here in the city of Chicago. Do you think that he can build a coalition here in the city of Chicago? Now, he do have a lot of Latino people with him. They work with him and things like that. So I'm just asking you guys, who want to go first?
Willie Wilson has reached out
okay.
to the religious community.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is my thing with Willie Wilson. You've caused a conflict with that money with churches. I'm going to just put this in a short form, that when you choose to go to certain big churches, you forgot about the little small churches that may be trying to get out. So you make one church a target place in different areas, downstate, Chicago Heights, all these other little suburbs, that's got a lot of Black people, but you forgot the small churches. And I found out that a bunch of preachers were so selfish in not telling other pastors who have small churches and not a membership of 9 million. And they started acting funny and flaky. Mm-hmm. You went to the churches in the pulpit. That's my beef with him. But you did not go to the smaller churches who only have maybe 20 people that want to do something, want to invite you. You went and you put the gas out there. Okay, yeah, everybody need gas. Of course, we know that. With a holiday, you gave $25 and whatever because you got to write off tax write-off, okay? But now, after you done gave all that money and you picked certain people in your campaign area to only deal with big churches, Black churches with big cathedrals. But you forgot about all the other little people who are just as better in personality and love and kindness. Oh, I'll call the name out. You put one out there in Chicago Heights. And my pastor had to turn around and get not invited. But guess what? There were several other pastors who you did not look at as well. That's like, well, we want to do something, but you forgot about the little people. And I want the churches to stop putting these politicians in the pulpit, put their butts on the floor with the rest of the members and put a stand there. Because they're not higher than anybody. They're not even higher than God. So my thing with Willie Wilson, if you want to make big churches popular, why not bring all of the little churches who have little people that are not as big and come and sit down and talk to them and buy them a little hamburger, McDonald's or something. But I don't like the way he did that because a lot of pastors are like, well, so if he don't like us, do we have to be a bishop for him to come through our church door? Yeah, I said it.
Okay. Hold it.
Yeah, I said it.
Hold it right there, sister. Go ahead, my dear sister. The other sister, go ahead.
I think Willie Wilson generally is a cool guy. I think he has heart. I definitely think that he has heart. I think the thing with Willie Wilson, I think that where he'll probably best be served where he is, and I can't really see him making mayor, is because religion does have a lot to play into that. Because if you look at the statistics and the things that are changing on the subject of religion, a lot of the youth, like what you guys were just talking about, getting the young person's vote, the college students and all of that type of stuff. The youth are not religion centered. So, and I mean, generally speaking, they're really not focused on that anymore. If you look at TV, our youth, we saw it when we were young, but there were still so many things that were hidden within religion. Priests raping kids and all of this type of stuff. And so much stuff now over the last 10, 15 years has come out, that you can always find the youth. One of the first things they say for people who want to get them into religion, trying to pull them off the corners and things of that nature, telling them to go to church. The first thing they say is, you have any idea how much wrong happening in the church right now? So these kids are not blind. So I don't think Willie Wilson would be able to secure the youth through religious endeavors. that's not where I don't think he'll be able to pull them for that, because the youth is really running away. A lot of the youth is running away from religion. They don't want to have anything to do with it. So I think on that aspect, I think that, like what the doctor was just saying, he's going to these certain churches and things of that nature, that would turn the youth off. So for that reason, I don't think they would feel like they could identify with him, because they would still see him as a reverend, as a pastor, turn the other cheek and all of that. These kids ain't turning the other cheek. They're not doing it. So for that reason, I think that Willie Wilson, I think he could probably get everybody, but I don't think he'll be able to get the youth, because he's not speaking their language.
Okay. My brother, go ahead. Marcus gonna be last.
I'm just I'm real old school. So I always say it's always underplay for the overlay. So hey, I see what he do. Thank you. I mean, I know people that can utilize those gas cards. Whatever he give, I say thank you. I thank you for looking out for the people that's struggling. Me, myself, I don't think there's no room for politics and religion. I just don't think it. I don't believe in the two entwining, because that's just my view, So I'll just leave it at that and pass it on. I just have a thing with religion, and like the doctor said, that the small people are always the ones who get swallowed, especially in these mega churches, because we already know it's about the mighty dollar who's signing them checks. And the interest, the boosters. The churches got boosters too, and a lot, there's business too. Church is big business too. So with that, I'll pass it on to Brother Marcus.
Go ahead, Marcus. Your turn to speak.
It is Willie Wilson for building a coalition amongst the people that he can relate to. Yes, and I'm with the other lady that was on as far as him building a coalition with the youth. Let me say this. I think the older candidates that's running for mayor, the older black candidates, if they were smart, they would step down and back a younger black candidate. Now, Martin, I'm not a big fan of Mr. Green.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm cool with him. Dream all that to me, but he's the youngest person that's running. And I think the smart way to play chess, if I was in that campaign, I would step down and I would put my energy into making this young man our next mayor. Because if you got the black community that don't like the current one, he's not going to get back in office. I mean, even though I'm undecided who I'm going to vote for, but she's not going to get back in office. And I'm not going to waste a vote on somebody that I don't think is going to get back in office. I mean, older people need to sit down, right? And let the young people take the wheel and fight this battle. We need to support them. We need to put our energy behind them. They're going to need our support and our counsel. We can teach them along the way, counsel them along the way, and push them. We should be pushing, because right now, that's the only young person we got running for mayor, right? We should be pushing him
mm-hmm.
to win.
Okay.
That's what we should be putting him. I haven't been paid by J. Maul to say this. This is just my opinion, sitting here right now thinking things over. I think Willie Wilson needs to step aside, and whoever else is old as black that's running needs to step aside and back the young man. And instead of them putting us against each other, we need to keep it where we're not against each other.
Okay. All right.
We can build a coalition.
That's good. That's it, Marcus? I want to cut you off. I'm sorry. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna give you guys 2 minutes. We get ready to close, and you can say whatever you want. We didn't really get a chance to get to the crime segment, but I'm gonna give you guys, starting with Dr. Sanders, give you guys 2 minutes to talk whatever you want to talk about. Make some last comments or whatever. It's cool with me. 2 minutes, people. 2 minutes. All right, Dr. Sanders.
All the panel that's on here now, because I gotta get up in the morning to get to school. But I enjoyed each and every one of you all. As for those who are running, my prayer is that you all would take a moment, even if you don't believe in God, take a moment and think about what you really want to do for the city of Chicago. especially, and the other gentleman that mentioned about Jamal Green, the one that had the lighter voice. I don't know your name, but he said, yeah, sit down and listen. But one thing about it, I listen to a lot of young people. Of course, I have 6 children, but I listen to what the needs are. But in that area, it is important to understand history. History gives you a lot. You can't do, with just the New Testament, don't have an Old Testament, because you got the Old Testament, you got to have that in order to understand the New Testament. Well, it's the same way. And we understand that the young people have an opportunity to want to serve, but whatever they got to do, clean up everything. Clean it up. Clean it up. If you paying child support, make sure you pay child support. If you got baby mamas, put them in check. If you got a wife, put your household out there, because we need to see homes, families, unity. We need to see that, because a lot of our young people have come from broken homes. And we do understand that there are challenges and different type of things going on with family. But make sure that your bedroom is clean. Make sure that you want to sit down and listen, because we will listen to you if you got something to talk about. It's important to understand that. Yes, we know that the old time was old time. I come from old school. Promise you, I was raised in the South and in the city. So I know both sides of the fence. But I am also willing to understand where your thought process comes in. And if Jamal were to get on this ballot and he got elected, he need not to change. There should be a revision. If you all of a sudden you change, you got to go, because you did not make good on your promises. Are you willing to listen? Will you be bought out? Will somebody buy you out? Don't be a buyout. Don't be a sucker just to get a position. So all of them need to sit down and reevaluate. Do a self-evaluation bucket list for your life. What am I going to do? Why am I really running for mayor? What am I trying to prove? Am I trying to prove something, or do I just want to be seen on TV? Or if I got something to say, I have a son, I just sent off to college. I'm paying his tuition. I need money. So the thing of it is that I don't make money with CPS. I guarantee you that. So my whole thing is I'm working a second job, because I have to take care of my family, my son. I have grandchildren that need to remember sometime. But all of the candidates, sit down and do a real bucket list and real people that you want to be on your campaign. Because we're tired of seeing the same old monkey show and bozo circus on the air with all these different mayors coming in, don't live here, don't know what they're talking about, sitting up being bullied and all that. I don't like to be bullied. Bullies need to die, I promise you, because you're a coward. So do a bucket list, your life and why you want to be mayor of this city.
Thank you, Dr. Sanders. Come on, my dear sister. 2 minutes is your closing remarks. Come on.
To the people who are going to be running, because I know you said that you're going to be talking to some of them and you want to pose some questions.
Yes.
So for the people that's running, I would like for you guys to really target issues dealing with property taxes and drivers, because at the end of the day, drivers and property owners are the ones who put the most money in for the taxpayer to run Chicago, and what's happening to them, is robbery. Somebody has to step to the podium, and they have to take, this situation very serious. Homeowners and drivers are getting robbed. They are absolutely getting robbed, and they're the law-abiding ones. They're the ones that are doing what they're supposed to do. And, every time something happens, the first thing they do is go after homeowners. Every time something happens, the first thing they do is they go after drivers, and it's just pure evil, and somebody needs to have a serious conversation about how to ease some of the tension off these drivers and off these homeowners, for the taxes that they're paying. It's ridiculous. I mean, you can't logically put these things in front of us and rob the public and look us in the eye and say, well, that's not what we're trying to do. That's exactly what you're doing. That's why they call it Crook County. That's exactly why they call it Crook County. something got to change. Something got to change. You know, people are being forced into poverty. You know, some of them are already at, because, you know, poverty means that you live from paycheck to paycheck. You know, a lot of people believe that they're not living in poverty. If you can't take your check when you get paid and throw it in the bank and leave it there and not worry about it, you're living in poverty. If you have to go cash that check as soon as you get it to pay a bill, that's the definition of poverty. You know, and we got homeowners and we got drivers, you know, that are just, they drowning. You know, they're drowning because of these taxes, and something has to be done. It really does, because like I said before, the middle class is what funds the nation. You know, it's not the poor and it's not the rich, it's the middle class. And if the middle class fall, we all fall. Mm-hmm. You know, so if there's one thing we have to do, we got to start looking out for the middle class, and we got to start, they got to do something with these taxes, these property taxes. It's ridiculous. Everybody I know who own a home, you know, at a certain time of the year, you can just literally see the color leave from them. You see the distress and the depression. You know, it's sad, you know, and something has to be done about it. And that's what I would like for candidates to talk about, you know, when they start campaigning to be the mayor. What you gonna do about these high property taxes and Cook, and what are you gonna do about this stuff with these drivers and these fines and all of this stuff that's completely over the top and that's just been gotten completely out of control.
Okay, thank you, sister. Go ahead, my brother.
Well, first, I want to say thank you, Bard. Thank all y'all on the panel, Dr. Queen, Brother Marcus. Thank you. My name is Sammy Shields. My first thing I will ask them, and you know, this just so have some empathy. Have some empathy. Do you have empathy? You know, I will ask them that, because I can't assume that they have empathy, you know, because I don't know the angle. But do you have empathy? Number two, I will ask them, write down the word disparity and write all the disparities that you see in Chicago. Check the list off. If you feel you can't fix that disparity, bring in someone else to pick up the slack. Be willing to be a team player. Be willing to listen. You know, so it has to be with the empathy. I'm all about the mindset. And like I say, I'm a supporter of the young blood of Jamal Green. But like I say, if Mr. Marcus and the doctor say, hey, he need to listen, I hope this message gets to him. Brother, you need to listen. You need to be a better listener. You know what I'm saying? The people say they don't have a problem supporting you. They just say you need to be a better listener. So if it's important to you, you'll fix it, Jamal. And that's just where I'm at. I just see a lot of people don't have the empathy. And I'm gonna go back to the old school, how all of us, everybody that's on this phone was raised. You know, be willing to look and walk in somebody else's shoes, and then you'll understand what they're going through. And that's the problem, that a lot of people have gotten away from the basics. The basics is where it's at, the foundation. Be willing to walk in somebody else's shoes and have a little bit empty. Like Brother Mark said, I don't have to agree with you to understand you. I don't have to agree, but I get it. I understand you. So that's just where I'm at. I'm looking for empathy. I'm not looking for a handout. We ain't talking about a handout. We ain't talking about giving up gas cards. We ain't talking about any of that, because all that will run out eventually. We're talking about how do you get people to keep it going, Mr. Willie. How do you get people to keep it going? Because you ain't always be able to give out $50, $25. How do you get people to put food on their table without depending on you? So that's it.
Okay.
You know, thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Much love in the spirit.
All right, Marcus, go ahead. You're my last one.
Sam.
Marcus, you're my last person.
Right.
Go ahead.
Basically, listen to the people. I would hope that the candidates listen to the people. Don't just go to the big mega churches. Don't just go to the churches. Go into the community. Let me give you a little bit of advice. Any candidate that's running, that's listening to your show right now, especially the young person that's running. He's already doing it somewhat, but do more of it. Go into the streets of Chicago and talk to the very people that is causing the problem, because a lot of them want to be saved as well. And the policies are set in motion right now. Listen to the people, talk to the people, understand the people. And when you do get in office, do by the people, just as you promised. Do by the people, just as you promised. Don't forget about those people that put you in office, like so many of them do. To the panelists, thank you. All of you all were great. We didn't all agree on certain things, but that's what America is made up of. You were great. I hope you keep this up, Martin.
Thank
You have a great show. You're gonna top another show that I know. I'm not gonna call it out, but what you're doing is great.
I appreciate you guys because I'm walking away thinking about some things and hearing some things, and I'm walking away looking at things in a different perspective.
Right.
And so I appreciate, what Queen Doctor said, and the Black Queen, and definitely you, Doctor. So like I said, I love to be self-inventory.
Yeah.
So now I can look at things and say, okay, yeah, it's hey, you got to keep going.
That's right. All right, people. This
And
is
Martin, can I ask a question of the
I'm ready to
doctor?
go.
Could you? Because I've heard you call her doctor before.
Yeah,
No. I just wanted to know if we could do a follow-up show about the school stuff since she works for them.
okay.
Sure.
Okay.
It's up to him. It's up to
That
Mike.
would be
Okay.
It's up to Mike.
Okay. We could do that.
be great.
We could do that. Okay. Because all right, people, I gotta get out of
Everybody
here.
have a safe evening.
All right, everybody have a safe evening. I appreciate all.
Y'all be safe.
Appreciate y'all.
All right,
I don't have
be
to say
careful.
anything else. I don't.
All
I'll be,
right.
Thank y'all.
All
Thank
right.
you, Mark.
all
Appreciate
right, thank
you, Mark.
you. All right, y'all. Live
Thank you.
uncut. I'm out of here. Uncut.
I love you,
Yeah.
Mike.